If you've been wondering why America's farmers are sounding the alarm in 2025, it's because they just can't catch a break. It's not just because corn prices are below break-even. It's the skyrocketing input costs, the global rejection. It's the collapse of an empire. For nearly every year in modern history, the U.S. was the world's top corn exporter. We were the corn kings. But not anymore. When China halted orders of U.S. soybeans and corn before the latest tariff escalation, it wasn't just a diplomatic jab. It was a crushing blow. And then, the USDA canceled food purchasing programs that fed our kids, our seniors, our tribes, and supported our farmers. Corn prices fell to just $3.50 a bushel. That sent the U.S. Corn Belt into a free fall. Over 2 million tons of corn sent right back to New Orleans, and tracks turned into worthless paper overnight. Across Iowa and Indiana, combined sit idle, because turning them on now means deeper losses. Cracked kernels rot in the rain, and American farmers, they're left staring at fresh debt and broken faith. Meanwhile, Canada quietly plants its flag on multi-billion-dollar grain deals with Japan, South Korea, even Europe. They've staged a silent takeover right on the world's dining table. So what happened? Why did American corn collapse so fast, so violently, while Canada rose? Let's peel it back. Tariffs are eating U.S. corn before it even leaves the port. After the White House slapped China-built cargo ships with fees up to $1,500,000, 0 cents per trip, shipping costs through the Gulf of Mexico jumped by 25%. Export costs exploded, adding $930 million, 0 cents to the industry's annual burden. Container rates through Asia are soulless. Just in the first 2 months of 2025, rates soared to nearly $5,000, 0 cents per container. And then came the second punch. Pesticide testing fees. On March 14, 2025, the Federal Grain Inspection Service raised the export testing fee from $57, 0 cents to $81, 0 cents per sample, a 40% hike. Every U.S. corn lot now needs a pesticide-free certificate or risk rejection mid-ocean. Costs kept ballooning, but the grain still didn't move. Barge traffic on the Mississippi down 16% from the 5-year average. New Orleans ports clogged with cargo, and no empty containers in sight. 180 ships sat anchored off the coast, while Iowa's corn soaked in the rain. Farmers lost another 27 cents per bushel. Just waiting. And while the U.S. stalls, the world changes. Global buyers now demand food that's clean, cream, and traceable. Mexico banned GMO corn in February 2025. They want carbon-free grain with digital certificates. Asian and European feed mills, and they copied Mexico's standards overnight. The problem? 92% of U.S. corn is GMO. Though we were blacklisted, but Canada, they adapted. Their Prairie Trace blockchain system tracks every grain lot from seed to terminal. They scooped up brand new billion-dollar contracts. While U.S. corn dropped to $3.45 per bushel, Canada held firm at $4.20. All thanks to their green premium. Importers shrugged. Why buy from the U.S.? It costs more. It takes longer, and it doesn't meet the standard. So they switched to Canada. Back home, the damage deepens. Reuters reports that unsold corn stocks in the U.S. have hit a 6-year high. By September, 2.5 billion bushels will still be sitting in silos. In Cedar Rapids, the bid is just $3.74 for September delivery. With harvest costs in Iowa, over $165, 0 cents per acre. That's why farmers are selling their combines, driving Uber, or just holding back their crops. Because selling today means more debt tomorrow. In Indiana, it's not just money, it's survival. The economy under the Corn Belt shrank 6.1% in Q1 2025. Food bank demand is up 50%. SNAP cuts may eliminate 133 million meals. In Illinois, the Mississippi River is choking from drought for the third year straight. Shippers are forced to carry lighter loads, raise prices by $20, 0 cents per ton, and delay sailings for up to 15 days. The dominoes keep falling. Interest rates are rising. Land investors are grabbing farms cheap. Some rural schools are switching to online classes just to save on electricity. In Nebraska and Minnesota, farmers are capped at 13 irrigation turns per acre per year. Co-ops have stopped buying. Trucks have disappeared. And diners? They're closing by 6 p.m. because no one's eating out. This isn't just an economic dip. It's a collapse. Even ethanol's taken a hit. Midwest production dropped to 87.8%. 25 plants are closed. 1.26 billion gallons of capacity gone. In Columbus, Nebraska, Valero slashed night shifts by 60%, cutting 120 jobs. It's a chain reaction. From cornfields to ethanol plants, from silos to shipping lines. And still, Canada keeps winning. Every Canadian export is traceable by blockchain. No GMO. No glyphosate. No high carbon emissions. They meet EU standards. Comes 20 days faster and command a 20 to 30% price premium over US corn. Their co-ops lock in deals fast. Their railroads connect to Midwest America. Their government even reimburses 50% of cold storage costs to keep carbon scores low. They don't just export grain. They export trust. And global buyers? They're not just buying corn. They're buying a clean reputation. That's why when the Canada-South Korea Organic Equivalency Agreement kicked in, Ontario Co-op sealed a 5-year deal in under 3 weeks. Meanwhile, U.S. grain ships at the Gulf dropped by 14%. Bookings down 17%. Even American importers are switching, using Vancouver to export instead of New Orleans. Because it's cleaner, it's cheaper, and it works. So what now? America stands at a crossroads. Option 1, open the door. Cut tariffs on green tech. Adopt blockchain. Align with global carbon rules. Yes, it's politically expensive, but brings us back to the table. Option 2, keep the tariffs. Keep the red tape. Keep waiting. But remember, that's what killed the Rust Belt. If we choose wrong, Canada won't just take our contracts. They'll take our future. This isn't just about corn. Soy is next. Then dairy. Then before. Every link in the agri-chain is vulnerable. The clock is ticking. Will Washington wake up? Or will small-town America become ghost towns before the price ever rebounds? Let us know in the comments. And if you care about the future of America's food economy, hit subscribe to Deep State and turn on notifications. Because this is just the first bell. And we're only getting started.